Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be talking about how do you find the midpoints. So similar to the problems you see up on the screen here. Just a reminder, this is the normal version. If you want the speedrun version where we go through pretty quickly, I'll link that in the description below. For your Ricasso Recap, you should know how to add and subtract positive and negative numbers, and you should know how to solve equations. If you want refreshers on these two topics, there'll be videos in the description below. Please go watch those before you start this lesson. All right, new lesson starts now. Here we go. So if I asked you to find the midpoint, okay, between these two purple dots, well, you might have a couple of ideas. You might say, okay, 1 over, 1 over, 2 over, 2 over, and then just go halfway in between. So the midpoint must be, negative 1.5, and this is correct. But I'd like to give you another way of thinking about this. The midpoint is just halfway, right? Half of something. And it is half of these two numbers added, together. So if I do negative 4 plus 1, and then divide it all by 2, so this is negative 3 divided by 2, which is negative 1.5. Okay? So the idea is add the endpoints together. So add endpoints together, divide them by 2. All right, here is our cool clock for today, which means that it's time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem here is the work. Final answer should have been 2.5. And for the second problem here is the work. Final answer should have been 312.5. All right, for this problem, okay, now we have some variables being thrown in. The good news is we still do it the same way. So D is the midpoint of CE. They tell us CD is 10x, CE is 19x plus 8. That's the whole segment. They want you to find what is CD. Okay, well, to find CD, we have to find what x is. So to find what x is, if this part right here is 10x, then that must also mean that this is 10x, right? Because we know D is the midpoint, so 10x, 10x. And now, think about it this way. CD plus DE equals the whole line, right? Make sure we understand that. This is also 10x. CD, this part, plus DE, this part, equals the whole line CE. Well, now we can start plugging in stuff, because I know what CD is. CD is 10x. I know what DE is. That's 10x. And I know what CE is. That's 19x plus 8. And now we have an equation. Okay, we should know how to solve it from here. So I'm going to skip over the work. So after you do the work, you're going to get x equals 8. And from there, remember, the problem asked you to find what is CD. CD is 10x, and so we're going to replace the x with an 8. 10 times 8 is 80. All right, time to practice. Go ahead and pause the video, try these two on your own. When you're ready, unpause, and we'll check your answers. Okay, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem here is the work. Should have gotten x equals 1. And then from that, EG is 22. And for the second problem here is the work. You should have said the two segments were equal to each other. You get x equals 9, and therefore BC is 40. All right, that's it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.